I think it's my name is Oleg Shilovitsky. I'm co-founder of OpenBOM. In my previous life, I worked for SmartTeam, Dassault, and Autodesk. So, and I felt now in this presentation is a kind of deja vu moment. So when you need to speak about unsexy stuff after someone who presents the visualization, that was always the case. Someone comes with visualization, and then you need to speak about Excels. So what do we do at OpenBOM? We help companies to connect to disconnected worlds. So in every company, you come to engineering, and engineering is doing great. They develop product, and then eventually they need to execute. And that's the moment of time when they start executing and sending spreadsheets, PDF files, and all other pieces of information, mostly to procurement and to some contractors. So and that's the biggest disconnect that happens between these departments. And when they're getting wrong information, the immediate dollar impact happens. Because when the wrong version of BOM was sent to procurement, they purchased something wrong, in the wrong unit of measure, in the wrong quantities. I mean, it's very, very, very painful problem. So, and when we started with OpenBOM, like our first idea was we can just simplify how people manage data. And then we realized that in listening to customers, the biggest problem is disconnect. It's what you send to procurement. And these days is actually even more, not only procurement, it's maintenance. Because customers are selling product that needs to be maintained. So you're getting this is a digital trend, 20 people to a few hundred people. The reality of all these companies is that they work with files, and they're sending these files to each other, and they're sending all this information in variety ways. And now you think about, you get a couple of thousand components in the assembly. You need to produce step files, you need to produce PDF files, you need to produce right quantities, and you need to send it to procurement. And then you get electronics and mechanics, and they need to sit together. And in the mechanical design, you get 20 switchers. And electronic design, you get a wrong quantity. I will ask you why. It's because they have a different voltage. So it's a whole messy set of information that needs to be sent between departments. And when they do maintenance, they need to make orders. So it's all messed up. So this is the place where we started with OpenBOM. We said it should be as simple as Google. Because like everyone likes Google spreadsheets or whatever is alternative for online spreadsheets, you put it all together. And as long as it's spreadsheet, it's well. But as engineering data is complex with all dependencies, with all files, with all attachments, with all these things. So that's what OpenBOM, at OpenBOM we build a platform that does it. Now the problem is that, and again I started my presentation speaking about that we are introducing CAD file agent for SOLIDWORKS. So how we came with SOLIDWORKS? It's probably the biggest group of our customers, and they represent very well the problem. It is files. Files are everywhere. And like I think I was talking to someone earlier today, and just think about after 15 years of cloud, how many CAD files are in the cloud, how many CAD systems are in the cloud, and how many are still producing files. Pretty much, I don't know, it's a number. It's 90 or 95%. We have some analyst people, so maybe they can tell us how many of them are desktop and how many are in the cloud. But there are 1.5 million commercial licenses of SOLIDWORKS, all of them files. And all of them need to do something with this information. They need somehow to organize it. And to answer from commercial companies and big vendors like Dassault, is just put everything on the one big platform. Well, it doesn't work. Because all these people are sitting in the different departments, in different companies, and they just cannot do it. They are looking for something that is more robust, and they are quite honestly looking for something that much more simpler. So I don't know how many of you experience with pieces of information that you're sending between people. So, and the data is organized, like you can think about files sitting in SOLIDWORKS, some Excels, even Excel, sitting with some BOMs, and some PDF sent to someone, and even you have ERP system with some information. And then the information is going in between, and no one remembers what actually happened. Because here's an example. You have a record, either in your PDM system, or you have a record in Excel that says that 3 years ago, you switched the electrical motors because you had some maintenance issue with some of the customers. You switched it. You have a record, perfect record, because of we switched this electrical motor. But the question is why you switched. No one remembers because some people left, some people lost records, something related sits in the emails. All this information is the mess of data that not capture it, even today, even if use more organized ways. And that's the problem that we want to solve. So with the infrastructure of OpenBOM, we came with the vision which we called product memory, which basically goes with 3 steps. We want to capture information and capture it intelligently with all data, with all reference, with all connections. We want to provide to people a way to review this information, because quite honestly, when you're releasing bill of materials to production or to procurement, you want to be sure that there is no mistakes there. And there are different types of mistakes. Sometimes you're missing descriptions, but sometimes you're placing different unit of measure, and sometimes you're placing just not qualified supplier into this particular product. So you need to review it, and then you need to flow this information to different sources. And the different people need to get this information, or different systems need to get this information. So we believe as this system is spinning, and that's why we call it flywheel, the system is spinning, is collecting more and more knowledge about what is happening about this process. And people will continue to send information. So what we are starting today is that we took the entire infrastructure of OpenBOM, which is as simple as Google spreadsheets. So that was one of our idea and objectives. We wanted to build a system that companies can start using in 30 seconds. So if you go to openbom.com, you can register, and if you're a SolidWorks engineer, you will be up and running in 30 seconds. As simple as you start using any cloud products. So now we took all this infrastructure, and we took the infrastructure of how people can collaborate together in the simple way, and all integrations that we developed. And we started to develop agents that dedicated to simplify even more and collect more information. So that's our first agent for CAD files. We dedicated this agent for SolidWorks because it has specific skills of SolidWorks and specific skills to understand SolidWorks and related data. So if you think about something like Claude Cowork that can work on your files, OpenBOM file agent can work on SolidWorks files. It can capture all this information, can capture all these revisions, can manage work of engineers. Everything you need to do is you need to perform normal tasks, that you can push changes, or you can retrieve changes, or you can send information to someone, and agent will be doing all this work using all infrastructure that OpenBOM developed. So that's the first step, and what it will allow to someone who is today using SolidWorks and who is today using desktop CAD system, because of course we will deliver other CAD systems, so support for other CAD systems as well. It will allow not to disrupt their environment. Because if you think about CAD systems on the desktop, the companies developed a huge amount of different support tools and different processes that they use. That's why when the vendors come into them with the big systems, the biggest problem for them is the adoption. So in order to adopt it, they need to turn around upside down everything that they do, and it doesn't work for them. Even switch from a desktop CAD to cloud CAD is a difficult problem for them. And if you need to switch the entire work of how they do in a company, it's hard. So that's why we came with something that will not be disrupting way of people with all their organized processes. I can tell you something that's really kind of was shocking first time we learned about this. How many PDM systems implementation stops because they require unique file names? Apparently, much more than I thought. And the problem is very simple. A company is developing all this project, they want to manage them. You come to them and say, rename everything. Cannot do it, so they will not do it. It's a kind of problem. So what we bring here, it's a very easy adoption. So this agent can be installed on your computer, connect to cloud services and start executing. And what we are going to do next, we are going to bring what we call review agents. So review agents will be able to analyze information, find mistakes. Because before you release bill of materials to procurement to production, you want to ensure there are no mistakes. So, and then you need to distribute this information around. So the distributing of information around seamlessly makes this information flow to ERP systems, to contractor suppliers. So all these pieces of information, it sounds like a simple tasks, but people are spending time on this every day, every minute, and it's a lot of engineering time, it's a lot of procurement time, and mistakes are super costly, because if someone ordering wrong pieces of equipment, wrong components, eventually it will cost a lot and delays, and that's a lot of hard dollars of companies that want to release and operate very fast. So that's the story for today. OpenBOM is available online. You can register, and this first Get agent will be available to limited group of customers first, and then obviously available to everyone. So connect with me on LinkedIn if you haven't connected yet. I'm happy to take some
Everybody is
questions.
connected to you. Come on, man.
Oh.
You're Oleg.
Thank you.
It's cool because there's actually two of my regulars on the Future of PLM podcast. Oleg's here and Jim's in the back. Hey, Jim. So I hope you guys join us on LinkedIn and YouTube sometimes. It's a really cool podcast of thought leadership. Last time we were talking about BOM. No, it was changes or...
Changes, yes.
Are there any questions for Oleg? Everything was perfectly clear? No? Okay. Well, I've got the privilege of